Hello and welcome. In the previous video, we learned to use the map function, right? In this video, we will learn to use the filter function, which just like the map function takes in a function and an iterable as two of its arguments. All right. Now what the filter function does is it returns all the elements of this iterable that pass a condition. All right. Now let me explain you this with an example. Now here I will create a list of numbers, and in this I will have -1, 3, -4, -33, 2 and 6. Alright. Now what I want to do is filter only the positive numbers from this list and then store them within a new iterable or a new list. Okay. So here we can use a for loop and achieve it. But then we have this filter function which is meant to do the same. And so let us use this function instead of using a for loop. Okay. So this filter function takes a function and an iterable as its parameters. So we have our iterable here. We need to define the function now. So here I will say def and p num, and in brackets I will have num as the parameter, and then inside the function I will say if num is greater than 0 then return num. Alright. So this is our function. I am checking if a number is greater than 0, and if it is greater than 0 I am returning the number. Okay. Now let me use this filter function. I will copy this and paste it here. In the place of this function I will have p num because this is our function, and in the place of iterable I will have numbers, and then I will store the result in a variable by the name p numbers. Okay. I will print this out now, and when I do that I get a filter object just like we had got a map object. Okay. So we can iterate this, and let us do that now. I will say for num in p numbers print num, and now when I run this I get the numbers that pass this condition. Okay. So from this list only these three numbers are greater than 0. Alright. Yes. We can convert this back to a list. Okay. So let me delete this and let me say list, and in brackets I will have this. And now when I run this I get 3, 3 and 6 in a list. Okay. So this is how the filter function works. The filter function filters all the values from this list based on this condition, and then it gives us a filter object. Alright. Now rather than passing in the name of a function to the filter function, we can pass in a lambda function that does the exact same thing. Okay. So let us do that now. Here I will say lambda and I will say num and a colon and then num greater than 0. Okay, and now I will comment this out because this is not required. Alright, so now when I run this, I get the same result. Correct? So instead of defining a function, we can use a lambda function like this. Okay. Now, we can use a list comprehension here too. Okay. That possibility is there. And as I have mentioned before, it is our personal choice. If we feel that a list comprehension is easier, then we can go for that. But then it is better to know that the filter function exists too. Okay? So this is about the filter function. Now let us proceed and learn to use the reduce function. Alright. So this is the syntax of the reduce function. Reduce function basically reduces a given iterable to a single number. Alright. Let us say we have a list of numbers and in this list I will have 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Next, let us say we have a function that takes in two parameters and then returns the sum of them. Alright. So we know how this works, correct? So now let us use the reduce function with this. Now, how can we use reduce? In order to use reduce, we need to import it first. Okay. So I will say from functools import reduce. Okay. Now do not worry about this line because we have not learnt about modules. Alright. Just know that this line is required for us to use the reduce function. Alright. Now I will create a variable by the name single and then I will have the reduce function in it. Okay. Now in the place of function we will have our sum function and in the place of iterable we will have our iterable numbers. And now if I print single, I will get a single value which is 15. Alright. Now how did we get this value? Let us try to understand. So reduce starts to operate from the very beginning. Meaning reduce first operates this function on these two numbers, the first two numbers. So what happens is 1 will be passed to x and 2 will be passed to y. 1 plus 2 will be done and the resulting value 3 will be returned. And so basically this list becomes 3, 3, 4 and 5. Okay. 1 plus 2 is 3 and that will be the first value now. Remaining 3, 4, 5 are intact without any change. Okay. Now the sum function again operates on these two numbers and so 3 will be passed to x, 3 will be passed to y, 3 plus 3 will be 6 and 6 will be returned, and so this list becomes 6, 4 and 5. Okay, these two numbers were reduced to this, these two numbers were reduced to this. Now once again, the sum function operates on 6 and 4. 6 will be passed to x, 4 will be passed to y, 6 plus 4 will be done, the resulting value 10 will be returned, and so the list becomes 10 and 5. Now, finally, the sum function operates on these two. So 10 will be passed to x, 5 will be passed to y, 10 plus 5 will be done, and the value 15 will be returned. And that is our final value. And when we run our program, that is the value we get. Okay? So we have reduced these numbers to a single value using the reduce function. This happens because we have sum as the first argument of reduce. Alright, so this is how the reduce function works. It takes an iterable and then uses this function again and again until all the values in this list are reduced to a single value. Alright? Yes.